Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My warmest regards to all listeners on this occasion, and welcome to the fourth International Conference on Elementary Education with the theme "The Direction of the Elementary Education in Future Challenge." I am Rizka Nur Hasanah. I will present the result of the research that I have done with my affiliate team at two state universities in Indonesia, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia and Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. Let me share the screen. Okay. This research is entitled Elementary School Students Mathematical Anxiety During the COVID-19 Pandemic by Rizka Nur Hasanah, Tatang Herman, Aan Yulianto, and Hanifah Nuryani. This is the introduction. Number one, COVID-19 has occurred in all educational institutions, including elementary school, having to prepare to anticipate the transmission of COVID-19 to teachers and students. Number two, during online learning, some students also mentioned that it's easier to cheat and earn points while studying online, which makes them lazier in Go Breastfeeding 2021. Reduction of motivation to learn allows students scores and students feeling bored in Afif, Mistar, and Karimullah 2021. Study quality 56.7% and psychological health 54.7% in Ferris et al. 2016. Boredom and decreased interest in learning due to the failure of students and teachers in overcoming obstacles in Budiman 2021. Number three, anxiety in learning mathematics or mathematical anxiety is one aspect of the attitude that is affected when students learn mathematics online. And the last number four, mathematical anxiety was only investigated regarding its increase or decrease and its relationship and influence with several variables in the elementary school field, especially when implementing online learning during the COVID-19 pandemic through quantitative research. The next one is research method. The method of this research is quantitatively with a case study, the method related to elementary school student mathematics anxiety. The subjects involved in this study were 28 fifth grade students in a private elementary school in Bandung. The instrument used in this were question and interviews. Questionnaire to measure student mathematical anxiety and interviews to get an in-depth understanding of student mathematical anxiety. This study was conducted without any treatment. Students are given a questionnaire to measure students' mathematical anxiety, interview to get an in-depth information, and then make conclude. And the last data were analyzed descriptively and the percentage. Mathematical anxiety has three aspects: affective, cognitive, and somatic. So how's the result? Affective aspect has a mean 16.1789 at 26.73%. Cognitive aspect has a mean of 23.5714 at 38.94%. And somatic aspect has a mean 20.7857 at 34.34%. That's all in equationary analysis. Then how does the interview analysis corroborate it? Okay, we found in affective aspect, assistance is not optimal. Children need motivation from their parents who want to learn mathematics. And next, children don't have the attention to do things that should be done, playing games and closing the Zoom camera while learning mathematics. And children are unsure and shy to ask questions when learning mathematics. For cognitive aspect, we found children don't like math. Children lack confidence. Children worry about getting bad grades. Children are less focused on learning. There is a difficulty when learning mathematics at home, and the occurrence of misconceptions in understanding the material. And the last one, somatic aspect, we found children tend to be open and communicative with their parents. Children feel anxious, have difficulty sleeping, and are nervous when dealing with mathematics. Children have a fever when they will face mathematics, and giving positive rewards and punishment to overcome children anxiety. So these tables show that anxiety in the somatic and cognitive has a high tendency and a low tendency in the attitude aspect. And we can say mathematic anxiety in cognitive aspect is more dominant than other aspect during online learning. So this is discussion. The cognitive aspect is the highest aspect experienced by students. Studies saying in the cognitive aspect, anxiety is expressed from feeling pessimistic during the problem, worried that the results of the work are bad, unsure of their work, afraid of being loaded at if unable to do the problem. In Parungato and Helmont 2020. Okay. Because of various limitations when learning online mathematics, that is less favored by students. How unfortunate. Besides it, leads to a lack of confidence of students, worry about getting bad grades, less focus on learning. It is understood that one aspect of student confidence is solving problems is the psychological index, which is the embodiment on pleasure when doing an activity. In Yulianto, Turmudi, Putri Mukodas, and Rahayu 2021. The limitation of online learning are, of course, a problem. As a result, the motivation to learn is decreasing. In Sembiring 2021. We found that most students feel anxious, have difficulty sleeping, and are nervous shortly before facing the math exam. Parents claim to often get complaints about their children concerned in facing the exam. There are even students who have a fever. Okay, but also almost students can be open and communicative to their parents. Okay, how grateful, right? The next about rewards and punishment. Reward and punishment have been known to affect psychological arousal during student approach behavior and avoidance. Leopold 2019, and have a variety of effective reaction and motivational states to feedback. Ending at all 2017. Another problem, the aspect of affective or attitude. There are even some students who share the focus of the learning time by playing the game. This is one of them due to less maximal assistance from parents, exactly. So students need motivation from parents and teachers to be willing to learn harder in math learning. When parental assistance is maximal, it will be in line with the student learning achievement and of course, lower his mathematical anxiety. So this is finally we come to the conclusion. Yeah, the first, the students still have high level of math anxiety. Mathematical anxiety is in cognitive and somatic aspect is higher than mathematical anxiety aspect of affective. Number two, the anxiety in the cognitive aspect becomes the most identified aspect. This is because the majority of study of subjects state that they felt their knowledge and mathematical abilities were still lacking. And the last, the student need to be given adequate material reinforcement, content, and mathematical knowledge, as well as the opportunity to ask question and be given special time when reinforcement is not possible classically. This is a solution so that the student math anxiety can be minimized. Well, that's all we can say about our research we have done. I hope this research has an impact and spurts our shared sense of responsibility for the advancement of Indonesian education. Thank you for your attention and hope you see you again. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.